What's up, guys? This is Kairu and my buddy Boba. We are about to start our first Let's Play together as a historically accurate Tokugawa and Oda alliance trying to take over all of Japan. Just to start off with, I'd like to say thank you guys for watching, and I hope you'll enjoy. I am not the very best player that ever was, but I'm decent, and hopefully you'll be able to learn some cool stuff as we go along with this. My buddy Boba is a friend of mine from college, and we play this game together a lot, and we've got a pretty good system down for how we do battles with one another, so you should have a good time with that and learn a few cool things along the way. I guess we can go ahead and get started if you'd like to introduce yourself, Boba.
Yeah, I'm Boba, Bobafetishes, and I'm just excited to get down to business with this. It's going to be a lot of fun. Why don't you talk about the specific settings you put this on?
Alright, so we're doing cooperative long because I'd like to make this a decently long Let's Play. I'll probably be uploading in 15-minute chunks. We'll probably play for 2-hour stretches and then upload it in a bit broken up sort of way. We're going to try and keep things moving along. We've got a turn time limit of 10 minutes, though most likely that'll be very rare that we actually take that long. We'll keep the battle time limit of 60 minutes. Hopefully we won't have to do any run down the clock plays, but it's nice to be able to have that option. I'm playing on very hard difficulty. We have played campaigns on Legendary before, and we've done it, but we just find it annoying, and honestly, being able to pause is really, really fun. Fleet size small, I hate fleets. Unit size medium, we've got decent computers, but I'd rather not, overtax them while trying to do my first few Let's Plays. If things work out, maybe next few campaigns I will bump up the size, but for right now, medium seems to be working really well. And obviously, play battle, we will do some auto-resolves. We're not going to make you see every little thing. But for the most part, we will be trying to show you through unit tactics and things like that how history played out. You're ready to go ahead and start this business?
Alright, let's get started.
So while we're loading, we can go ahead and start with the history. So we're playing as the Tokugawa and Oda clans. The Tokugawa clan, honestly, at this point was a very, very minor clan compared to other clans in Japan. They were vassals of the Imagawa, and were kind of always under the threat of the Oda just by where they were positioned and the fact that the Oda were pretty darned expansionist.
What's a vassal, real quick?
Okay, I guess I should define that. A vassal is it's like an arrangement between two feudal lords. Two guys who own a lot of land, have armies, have, soldiers to fight for them, and they come to an agreement whereby one of them is the higher rank. He is paid tribute by the lower rank one, and in exchange protects him, makes sure that he doesn't get conquered by other lords, makes sure that he is relatively safe, and is able to call on that vassal in times of war. So it's a way for two clans, two rival armies, two rival generals to come to an agreement and not necessarily obliterate the other one, but rather become sort of big brother, little brother allies, I guess, is the easiest way I can put it. So I, right now, am a vassal. I am this clan right here, with the flag on it. I am a vassal of this clan right here, the Imagawa. Or at least historically I would be. I don't believe I actually am right now because we're playing a cooperative campaign, but historically I would be. And I'm constantly under threat of Boba right here, who is my ally, because they are the Oda, and the Oda are very expansionist. They control a relatively wealthy castle town, that kind of straddles a lot of the trade that goes along these roads and up through the center of eastern Japan in Mino. So they control a lot of money, and they're famous for using large armies of ashigaru in very dense organized blocks. Now that's something interesting to mention as well, because ashigaru really hadn't been as much of a thing in previous eras of samurai warfare. Obviously there were peasant soldiers in other areas of samurai warfare. Not every single person is going to be a super elite samurai with lands and a horse and armor there are going to be poorer people on the field of battle. But in the Sengokujidai, which is this time period, 1545, roughly 1530 to 1600, this time period sees the deployment of much, much larger and more organized armies of peasants. So they're less well armed, but they use different tactics, better tactics, I would argue, than the earlier eras of samurai warfare, when it was more spread out and more individualistic man-on-man sort of skirmishes, if you will. Looser and more about, I would argue more about individual skirmishing ability, archery and naginata work, and horseback riding. Not as much like large units of infantry trying to have at each other. And that's what's kind of taking hold in this era. So the Imagawa, or the Tokugawa I should say, am constantly afraid of the Oda. Historically what happened was my son, not the one who is daimyo right now, this is Hirotada, his son, Tokugawa Ieyasu, was a hostage for most of his childhood. And I'll go into this a little bit more in detail in the future. But he was a hostage between the Imagawa and the Oda clans.
He was mine.
He was Boba's basically guarantee that the Tokugawa wouldn't attack. Think about if you have an army, but somebody else has your son and is keeping him in pretty good condition, not in a prison or anything, like raising him, but has him, you're not going to attack that person because he'll be able to do harm to your son. He might kill him, he might torture him even. And so he was used basically as a tool by the Oda and the Imagawa as he grew up to keep my clan, the Tokugawa, from betraying either one. He was sent back and forth, a couple of times kidnapped. And that kind of gave him a good perspective on the politics of feudal Japan at this point. He eventually became an incredibly shrewd diplomat and politician. And I'll talk about that more in future videos. For right now, I should probably get my turn really rolling. So I've got Mikawa, which has a horse pastures. That means that I can recruit better equipped cavalrymen here. I've also got a market, and I don't really want that right now because I want to be able to start producing some really powerful units. So even though it's going to hurt my economy, I'm going to destroy that market and build new ones in territories that I will conquer in the future. For right now, I want to upgrade my horse breeders and get a horse pasture in Mikawa as soon as possible. I've got this army right here. Now, normally I don't think that I'd be able to just attack over here right off the bat. But when my turn comes around, right now it's Boba's. When my turn comes around, I will go after Totomi and try and expand.
Do you have units being developed at the moment? I would advise it if you wish to take Totomi.
Yeah, I'm recruiting 2 Yari Ashigaru at the moment, and I'm building my horse breeders.
Alright, I'm going to take out Mino right now. It looks like no one's in the way, so I'm going to send my daimyo. And I'm going to leave the general right behind in reinforcing range, so that they both gain experience.
Yep. If you have a general in another general's stack and another general's force, and subordinate to him, following his orders, he will only gain 1 experience point for fighting in that battle. If, however, you leave him out of the stack, but close enough to reinforce during the battle, that general will gain 3 experience. So it's not a lot more, but it's pretty significant in the long term.
It behooves you to do such.
Yeah.
Now, my question is, should I peacefully occupy or vassalize? Because I only have 3 honor.
Were you already at war with them?
Correct.
Okay, well, they're probably going to be really unhappy with you regardless. I would take Mino and vassalize South Shinano. That way you've got a buffer against the Takeda.
Yes, I do like the Kiso. They're usually very nice to me.
Yeah, they're usually pretty loyal. So, what just happened? Boba attacked Mino with his army. He forced his way in, killed all of the samurai and all of the retainers and the clan, basically the warrior aspect of the clan that was there. When samurai had battles, it was not unheard of, but it was rarer for it to become a thing where the entire populace fought against the invader. It was a battle between different samurai generals, and so it didn't necessarily concern the peasants, though obviously one daimyo might be kinder than another, one daimyo might have lower taxes than another, so you might care a little bit, but it really didn't matter to the peasants. For the samurai, however, it was everything. If you lost, there was no way of surviving honorably ever again. You could maybe escape, but you would, by virtue of having run away, be an outcast as a samurai. For a samurai, if you're defending the home front, if you're defending a castle, there is no running away. There is, if you lose, you commit seppuku, which is a ritualistic suicide, in order to kind of negate the dishonor of having lost. I'll talk about that a little bit more in other videos as well. Kind of this video, I'm probably going to be saying that a lot. I'll touch on topics that we'll discuss more deeply in other videos.
I can make an alliance with the Kiso and then marry. I'm wondering if I should.
Ooh, if you can do that, then that would work just as well. And
For whatever reason, though, they're not wanting to do a trade agreement.
Well, you can worry about the trade later. I would say next target is Ise, so you can get some high morale troops.
With the Kitabatake.
Yeah.
Let's see. Trade with the Iko Iki. Yeah, I discovered a bunch of clans once I took Mino from the Saito.
Yeah.
See,
You see a lot more.
Get more trade. More money equals more things you can do.
I'll say it. I've said it before in other recordings that haven't yet been uploaded. And I'll say it again, but food surpluses and complex trade networks are the two biggest, most important things for the expansion of nations and any sort of political organization. Empires, kingdoms, whatever you want to call it. They all rely on stable food surpluses and complex trade to become powerful. So that's what we're trying to achieve. He's getting as much trade as he can. Right now, I'm not at war with the Imagawa. And technically, I would be breaking with history right now to attack. Hirotada, my daimyo.
I'm at war with Imagawa.
He didn't actually ever betray the Imagawa. It was Tokugawa Ieyasu who decided that he wanted instead to support the Oda. Mostly because he knew that if he supported the Oda, it would give him a very high-standing position within the Oda coalition of clans. He was a consummate politician. He parlayed everything to his advantage and was very, very shrewd and always maintained good alliances and such. I'm not going to actually be able to reach Totomi yet, but I will get there next turn, and I will also be able to get there with 2 extra Yari Ashigaru.
Put your general back in Mikawa so they go farther.
To do that, my daimyo, will he reach? He will, so he can take them. Awesome.
Your units don't travel as far as they do when the general supported them.
Because the general, you would, gotta imagine, you're a soldier during a time when roads are very, very haphazard and not very good, and you've got to march many, many miles a day. If you've got nobody there, like, say, a teacher telling you what to do, you might decide not to go quite as far or do as much of your homework. So, having that general there, having that leader, having that teacher in the classroom, generally gets more done.
I get it, generally.
Way.
There's probably nothing else you can do besides trade.
Yep. I don't have much more I can do. I can trade with the Kiso because me and you are friends, and they will trade with me. Will they be my vassal? They won't be my vassal. Yeah. Usually you have to be about to crush somebody or pay them a lot to get them to just be your vassal. Because it is a subordinate position. It does put the other person above you. So I'm trading. The Imagawa are a trade partner of mine. And if I wanted to be really, really historically accurate, what I would do is I would basically sit with just Mikawa for about, I think he gains control of his clan in about 20 or 30 years. I'd have to look it up to be exactly sure. So I would have to sit here for like 80 turns and then attack the Imagawa. And
each turn is one season of the year.
So I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to break with history here just to hurry things up. Hirotada will be a little less honorable than he actually was in history. But he will gain glory for it, and he won't be considered dishonorable because, by virtue of not being his vassal right now, because of the mechanics of me being in a co-op game, I cannot be anybody else's vassal. Because I'm not his vassal right now, I don't lose any honor for attacking him. It is not a dishonorable thing for me to attack him. We have no standing agreement between one another.
Are you going to put that general in the big stack? Since he's right there, might as well.
I don't think he'll make it. He'll like nudge towards it. I'm going to go ahead and pass my turn, which is going to allow all of the computers to go. Sorry for those of you who've played Shogun already, and we sound redundant, but some people haven't, so let's be kind. So the computer clans, the computer-controlled clans, are all going to go right now and make their moves. Sometimes they will engage in diplomacy with us of their own volition. They'll choose to talk to us about an agreement we might have on their own. Other times they might attack us in a surprising fashion. Looks like you have some Saito rebels in your territory.
It looks like I do.
So,
it's just a general and a bow unit. Yeah, I can crush that pretty easily.
More free experience for your daimyo. This often happens when Boba and I play together. He kind of hurries up the offense faster than me. It always happens. Even when I'm trying hard to keep up, he just expands quicker. I'm more plodding and cautious, I think. Which is strange considering he's usually the infantry commander and I'm usually the cavalry commander.
Yeah, we like to split our concerns on the battlefield. It's much simpler.
Oh, you didn't level your daimyo up.
Well, what I assumed was that they would run. So I wanted to engage with the unit that I didn't want experience with first.
Okay.
But now I can chase and finish off with my daimyo, and I should
get a level out of that, yeah.
From it. Let's see here. I want to take everyone with me because it's only a bow and a general.
And it's already badly hurt, so just take your Yari samurai.
Yeah, that seems good. And it should be an immediate win.
So, those of you who don't know, a Yari is a spear. Yari is just the Japanese word for spear, the same way katana is just the Japanese word for sword. Yumi is the word for bow, though it's not used as much in this game. I guess while it's your turn, I can talk a little bit more about the overall state of Japan right now. So, this is 1545. Japan is kind of in chaos. There is intermittent and petty civil wars going on all over the country between various...
This is funny. Sorry, I'm intruding, but my two retainers for my daimyo is +1 loyalty if general or honor if daimyo. And then Yokozuna, +1 to the daimyo's honor. Which one should I do?
I don't know.
This is tough. I think I'm gonna go with the sumo guy. His picture's cooler.
That's a good way to decide.
Otherwise it's a fish. I mean, whatever.
Yep. So anyway, about Japan at this time. So, daimyo all over Japan are fighting one another. A daimyo is a feudal samurai lord. It is a warrior caste individual who is of sufficient rank, who is a high enough rank that he controls a province or a large enough piece of land that he is considered a daimyo. So if you want an equivalent, you would think of like a European lord or duke or earl or something along those lines. That is kind of what you would call a daimyo. There is, however, a shogun right now. The shogun is the chief military advisor to the emperor. That sounds like it gives the emperor all the power, but it's not like that. It's kind of a way for the shogun to be the king of the country, basically, but have nominal power in the hands of the emperor. The emperor is more of a figurehead at this point. There is a shogunate in Kyoto. It's called the Ashikaga shogunate, but it has very, very, very little control over anything else done by other daimyo. As a result, all the other daimyo are just fighting each other, trying to gain more power. The ultimate goal right now would be to gather enough of the territories of Japan under your control, or get enough of them in alliance, and take Kyoto from the Ashikaga. When you do that, the tradition is that you petition the emperor and ask him, please make me... Why did you go to that one? Please make me shogun. And because you hold Kyoto and therefore, have your army in possession of the town that he lives in, the emperor generally says yes, and you become the shogun, and you become basically the king of Japan. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but for right now, we'll just say that's what it is. You are the military leader of Japan.
That's pretty important in that time.
Yeah. And it is the highest rank that any individual other than the emperor is capable of achieving.
Without royal blood or with royal blood?
Without royal blood. The emperor, because of his direct line of descension from the sun goddess herself, is always, technically and maybe nominally, the highest ranking person in the entire country of Japan. Now, who holds more actual power, who can move armies around and levy taxes, that is the shogun. But nominally, the emperor is always number one, the one in control of the country, because he has spiritual responsibility to intercede with heaven. So my army kind of derped when I ordered it to join back up, so I didn't make it. I will attack them next turn. They haven't made any new troops of their own, so I still outnumber them heavily.
Yeah, I saw that path thing. That was very weird. It walked off the road and then back on.
It walked like it was going to join with that army, but I clicked on this army, and that's the one that it did join, so I don't know why it got off the road.
I would get in the habit of right-clicking and holding to see if you agree with the pathing. Because I've gotten like that, and it helps a lot.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to declare war and enter their territory. Oh, I have 9 turns until this war will not harm my relations with other clans. Do I want to wait those 9 turns?
What's your daimyo's honor currently?
3. So it's medium. And if I attack him, because for whatever reason it would be considered dishonorable right now, my diplomatic standing amongst all the other clans of Japan would fall. Because it would be seen as, unfair for me to attack them right now. So I don't know.
What a jerk, basically.
Basically, what a jerk, you betrayed your old friend. Now, I don't know if I care all that much, because I've got my one ally who is going to be my, historically speaking, he's the one really in charge. So I don't know if I really care all that much about my honor. Plus, I really want to get started. I want to take a couple territory. So I'm going to do the dishonorable thing. I'm going to speed up Ieyasu's betrayal of the Imagawa by a few years and go ahead and declare war. I am not going to call my allies for help because I don't want to drag you. You're already in.
I'm already at war with them, so that.
I don't want to drag the Kiso in it because the Imagawa's ally are the Takeda, and the Takeda might declare war on the Kiso as a result. So I'm not going to call them.
The Takeda are very,
very, very strong. They're a clan from. Try and get a good spread out view of it. From this province, traditional overlords of also this province, and they are an incredibly powerful clan with a long tradition of very strong cavalry. Now, the thing is about Japan, there is very, very little available land. About 7/8 of the country is uninhabitable mountains. This stuff. Very little of it is arable. You can grow crops on it. So being able to have horses, and not only horses, war horses bred regularly and in large enough quantities to have a serious cavalry force, you've got to be quite wealthy and really, really, really good at what you do. And so the Takeda are a serious threat. And I'd rather not be at war with them too soon.
Alright, so you're going to advance?
I'm going to step into their territory and hope that they attack me. If they don't, I'll besiege them.
You can besiege with the other general, yes?
I could do that. I don't think I'm in range to aid, though. I'm not. But I will get closer with the other general. I'm going to go ahead and pass turn.
Okay. Hopefully they don't make a unit.
.433. Alright.
Oh, I see something going on over Hattori.
The Hattori. The Hattori are a clan that is famous for their ninja. I will talk a lot more in depth about ninja in the future. I don't really want to give away too much about my take on them too soon. Let's just fight this. We should have a first battle.
Oh my gosh. I don't even understand what they were thinking.
Yeah, I don't either. But whatever. It'll be a nice, easy way to demonstrate things.
Normally the Magawa get pretty large pretty fast in my place.
Yeah.
They go spam Ashigaru units.
Yep. And that's what a lot of people were doing right now historically. But anyway, the Hattori are a clan famed for their ninja, and they were vassals themselves of the Ashikaga shogunate. They eventually become my vassal, the Tokugawa vassals. They eventually help out Tokugawa Ieyasu, most famously Hattori Hanzo.
Right.
He's probably one of the more famous warriors from the Warring States period.
Maybe start talking about the battlefields.
Okay. That's a good idea. So, the battlefields, there are always, various different kinds of terrain in this game. There are castles, there's points that you have to hold sometimes. Right now, apparently, we're going to fight in the rain, because in co-op campaign, you don't have the option to choose. I'm going to give you all my infantry, and you're gonna use them. I'll talk about them when I see you doing cool stuff with them, but you're going to use them. I will control my generals.
Sounds good.
So
and they're attacking us, correct?
They are attacking us, which means that we get to play defensively. There's no reason for us to rush the battle, because if the battle time limit runs out, we win. Obviously, we don't want to do that. That would take forever and be kind of boring. But we could do it. It's an option. Therefore, they are going to attack us. And as such, we're going to deploy in these bamboo trees. And there's a few advantages to doing so. One, they can't see us. From that far away, they can't see these units in the trees. They appear as being invisible. Two, those bamboo trees will do a very, very good job of protecting my soldiers, who are under Boba's command at the moment, protecting my soldiers from arrows, which is really, really important because my guys do not have a lot of armor. So I'm going to go ahead and start battle. My job right now is going to be using my general and my other general, my daimyo and my general, to pull their army into a silly fight, into a fight that they will lose. Remember, they can't see my troops over here. So I'm going to use ambush tactics.
Your general is just reinforced from the rear.
Yep.
I'd be careful not to get ambushed by both of their generals.
Yeah, I'm gonna go up to the top of this hill first, and then I'm gonna go over here.
Going around is a good choice. Because he doesn't want to get in a fight he can't win.
Yeah.
When he's all alone over there.
Especially this early in the game, if I were to lose this general, that would kind of be a big blow. These two generals are the only cavalry I have at this point, and I like cavalry a lot, so I don't want to lose them. I don't even want to let them take very many casualties. So I'm going to deploy my general behind these guys right now. Because they appear to want to chase him. They think he's the army, because they can't see these guys. So I'm going to deploy behind
a little bit about the gameplay and battle sequence. What I've come to notice about battling, it's like a big game of rock, paper, scissors. You have units that are very good against other types of units. And so what the game comes down to is really just positioning when you're doing battles. Is where it got to be at the right spot at the right time, having dudes with long spears poke the guys on the horses. I mean, that makes sense. You have guys that are very good against particular units. So you have to watch out for that.
And for example, certain units will have special abilities. So if you could maybe put your spears into Yari Wall just for a moment so I could see it. So these are peasant foot soldiers. They are not very well trained. They're not terribly well motivated. But because they have this ability, Spear Wall, they can bunch up into a really tight, dense formation of spears. And that makes it very difficult to charge them head on. Think about it. If you have a sword, you're a great katana man. You charge in. You've got to block this guy's spear. Okay, you managed to block it. But then you've got to block this spear. And then to get close enough to hit the first guy, you've also got to block this spear. So that's 3 spear points that are going to be coming at you at different times, different angles, different speeds that you've got to worry about before you can even start hitting back yourself. And so it's a way for not quite as heavily armored, not quite as tough of soldiers to make themselves tough through teamwork. Alright, so I'm going to start coming around their line with the cavalry. Ooh, they appear to want to come after this general. So I'm going to do the old bait and switch. And get them to get charged while they...
Yeah. I'm trying to get the Yari Samurai over there.
Oh, come on. Stop. Go, go, go.
And I drew the other units into my Yari walls. Oh, you guys. Get out of Yari wall. Come around.
So, I caught their one general with 2 of mine. And then I also inspired them. Inspire is an ability that makes your guys fight better. So, because I did that, I lost... I actually lost more than I really wanted to. But I completely killed their general. And now their Yari... my buddy, Boba's Yari Samurai, are coming in to finish the job. Spears and Naginata, which are kind of like... they're basically like spears, but with a curved blade on the end instead of just a straight point, are always a very, very good tool to use against horsemen. Horses are big and fleshy, and they also panic when they're hurt bad. And so if you've got the reach on an enemy, all you really have to do is stab their horse. So with a katana, yeah, a horseman's a very big threat because if they've got a lance or a katana themselves, they can get in much heavier, more powerful blows against you than you can deliver at them. But if you've got a spear or a pike or a glaive or any sort of big polearm, you can hit their horse well before they can even strike at you.
General, oh, he's getting away. He's got one guy left.
I'll kill him later. It's okay. So I have won this battle. It is a decisive victory. I lost a little bit more of my cavalry.